Well, greetings. Hello. This is Mona Hilton. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I am really excited to share with you some ideas about innovation. And for those of you who've been on a webinar with me in the past, you know that I like to start with a bit of inspiration. So enjoy this. Don't you just love innovation? I'm always inspired when people are bold and unafraid to think beyond the barriers of tradition. I'm Mona Hilton, and as a bit of introduction and backstory, our company, Genesis Global Technologies, the authors of Developer's Advantage, recently celebrated 22 years in business. Yes. And I came into this industry naturally. My father was, among other things, a developer, and my husband and I were investors who flipped new construction homes in communities. So I have all the perspectives: developer, buyer, seller, investment, all of it. Which brings us back to our topic for today and the $1,000,000 question, which is, do new home community sales really need another CRM? It's a great question. If you've been in new home sales and marketing for more than a year, you've inevitably heard the term CRM, Client Relationship Manager. Now, in full disclosure, internally, we irreverently refer to CRM as a client relationship maze because it's where clients go in, but they never come out. So recently, I Googled the term CRM, and I got 118 million hits. Yes, you heard me right. So obviously, somebody thinks CRM is important. But is it really the magic bullet that people would have you believe? Does it really solve all of your new home sales and marketing problems? And if so, why isn't your CRM working? Why are so many developers and builders frustrated, disappointed, and disillusioned with their CRM? Now, at the end of the day, all CRMs do the same thing. They track the historical information that you put in them. Period. They don't do anything to actually help the sales process. Now, there's an idea. Also, buyers, they're different from what they were 10 years ago. 89% of buyers are starting their new home search online. Here's a true story for you. Kristen, our VP, is from Michigan, and her parents have lived there for years and years. A few months ago, they decided to sell their new home and move down here, about an hour and a half away. They did their research online, They found a community. They even picked out a model home to be built. Then they sent Kristen to check out the community for them, which, as a side note, was a very sad sales example. In fact, she spent over an hour at the sales center, and nobody even bothered to ask her name or to get her information. I won't tell you who the community was. But that's a story for another session. Anyway, her parents ended up buying the new home, pre-construction and sight unseen, all from Michigan. So believe me when I tell you, your new home buyers are going online to do their research. They're comparing their options and they're narrowing down their options. So you have to be different than you were 10 years ago if you want to sell to today's buyers. But instead, you're still stuck with the same old tired tools you had back then. CRM has not kept up with the times. Currently, traditional CRM doesn't meet the needs of developers and builders. It's not designed by developers, builders, or the sales teams who need to sell new home communities, or the management who needs to track property inventory, availability, and home sales. And they certainly can't track multiple home types, high-rises, single-family, semi-detached, and such. They're also hard to use. If you haven't heard that, you might have even said it. Salespeople hate using their CRM. With all due respect, they look like they were designed by tech heads, not by real humans. And let's be honest, salespeople, and truthfully most people, are not typically computer people. We're people, and I stole that term. I'll tell you where later. And sitting in front of a computer typing our notes for someone else to judge us by, not really high on our bucket list. And for those of us who have ADD, and you know who you are, we can't remember what we had for dinner last night, much less the long, complicated list of things we need to do as part of the sales process. We would much rather be out there having fun, connecting with people, and we thrive on the positive reinforcement we get from engaging with other people, or getting kudos when we do the right thing or get the sale. CRMs don't meet that need either. They also tend to be incomplete. They're partial solutions. What I mean by that is CRMs are just one part of what you need for sales and marketing and internet marketing in new home communities. In order to effectively communicate, market, use the internet to engage and capture and nurture web leads, market to your realtors and your brokers, and track the referrals, you need a lot of extra additional tools. Kind of like saying that flour is all you need to bake a cake, when in reality, you need realtor marketing and professional referral source conversion tracking and email campaigns and social media marketing and spreadsheets and industry-specific things like community home sales tracking and design options and generating sales agreements. You get the idea. Old-fashioned CRMs also don't give you a competitive advantage over your competition. Let's face it, your competition, they're springing up everywhere, and they are hungry to make a sale. You're not going to get the sale if you can't even follow up with your leads, your online leads and your walk-ins. Plus, they're expensive to set up. You've got to customize them for your industry. It's expensive to manage, to integrate, and keep them up. And for what? For nothing. And then there's a dreaded spreadsheet nightmare. Look familiar? Hopefully you're not keeping all of these outside your CRM, but the reality is most developers and builders are. So, does the world really need another CRM? The answer is probably no. Not if it doesn't work, and not if it's anything like what we have now. So if it's not CRM, then what do new home communities need? Now that's a question, that's $1 million question that we've stepped back and asked ourselves. We actually burned up a lot of brain cells contemplating that thought. The first thing you have to do is forget everything you know. Throw out all the preconceived perceptions of what CRM should do, what it should look like, what it should be like, and focus on what would give developers and builders the biggest advantage. What we didn't do was we didn't set out to just create another CRM. Our goal was to invent the original purpose and intent of CRM, which is to solve real problems experienced by real salespeople and real managers. So we started off by asking hundreds, actually thousands, of developers and builders, what are you struggling with? What do you really need? Also, as a side note, we researched the psychology of why people hate their CRMs, but they love their social media and they're addicted to using it. We even looked close to home and we asked ourselves, what would make us better? What would make us more productive? And make it so at the end of the workday, we left feeling fulfilled, like we'd accomplished something, and make us more competitive. Then we reimagined what new home community and marketing, sales and marketing should look like if we burned down everything and started over. And we're happy to introduce you to the byproduct of all that research and development. It's called Developer's Advantage, and it's a plug-and-play version. But we understood that to truly call ourselves an advantage, there were some must-haves. One is it had to be designed by salespeople for salespeople. It had to be easy to use. It had to be addictive, kind of like Facebook is addictive and how it constantly lures you to log in, see what's going on, and interact with other people. It also had to fill the gaps in the areas that people needed. Things like taking advantage of internet marketing, lead generation, social media, getting leads from the internet sources, and then making sure that they got followed up with instantly and personally, and yet were engaged with ongoing follow-up after the click-through. No lead left behind. It also actually had to be helpful. There's an idea. It had to be useful to the people who needed to use it. More of an assistant than a big brother tool. It also needs to make people look good, being productive and efficient, knowing what's going on and what they need to do next, kind of a guide that suggests next steps. It also needed to be complete. Everything had to be in there to do our job, including our internet marketing, our web lead nurturing, all under one login. Things like email campaigns, social media posts, web lead capture, follow-up next steps. It also had to really help management by saving money on missed leads and having accurate real-time data and stats that made it intuitive, that was intuitive to find and made it very visual so you could compare numbers. And last but not least, it had to be flexible. So it needed to adapt to different community cultures, different sales processes, different salespeople and their experience levels. And also be able to track different property types, whether they were lands or units or homes or townhomes, whatever it was. So that's why we built Advantage. Now, since 89% of new home buyers start their search on the internet, I thought the best thing to do would be to take you through a 3-4 day slice of life of what that process looks like and how automation can change your world. So imagine with me that it's Sunday evening. It's about 10:30 at night or so. I'm starting to wind down. I'm getting ready to call it a night. But meanwhile, a prospect someplace in the frigid Northeast is on our website, Genesis Estates, and they're looking for information, and they see a offer down at the bottom. We call it a sticky point, to download a free resource guide that we're offering, and he fills it out. His name is Dennis Manning. There he is, and he's going to submit it. Now, when he submits it, I get a web lead email notification on my phone instantly. I can review that notification. I can see his name is Dennis Manning. He filled out our Downloading Your Best Life Ever. I can see that he's already been launched on follow-up. He's already heard from me. And he's filled out that sticky point. And I know that he's already heard from me. And here is the email that Dennis receives immediately. Notice it's personalized. Dear Dennis, I hope all is well. Thanks for your interest in Genesis Estates. We'll be in touch shortly, so he knows to expect to hear from me. In the meantime, here's something else I thought you might be interested in. So I can rest assured knowing that Dennis has heard from me. It's personal, and I can contact him in the morning. So Monday morning, bright and early, I go into the office, and I log into my Developer's Advantage Today screen, and I can kind of look around, get a quick snapshot of my day, what's going on, and my prospects, and my activities, and my leads, and what is on my to-do list for the day. And I can see that Dennis Manning has automatically been entered into my system, recorded. He's already received my thanks for visiting us email. So I click through to look at Dennis Manning. I can see there it is, Genesis Estates. That's the article. That's what's already been done. The next step is assigned to me to make a call. And I know he's expecting my call because I click on his email and I can see by that green icon that he has viewed my thanks for visiting our website. So I know he's seen it and I know he's expecting a call from me. So I'm going to go ahead and call Dennis. There's his phone number. He gave it to us on the website. So I'm going to create a note that I made the call. I want to get credit for making the call, so I'm going to pick that as my activity. If there was a property of interest or a realtor or how did you hear about us, I could additionally mention that. But you notice that microphone? That microphone lets me dictate my notes. Yes, speak to my computer. Here we go. Website lead from last night. Dennis is tired of shoveling snow and is looking for a winter home. He's ready to trade hot chocolate for key lime pie. He found our website and is interested in seeing our community tomorrow around 2. Dennis said that his daughter, Allie, already lives in the area and may stop by to look around. Now, I'm about to do something that you've probably never seen before. I'm about to mention a user, Alex Smith, and tell her, please pick up a key lime pie tomorrow. Now, what this @mention does is it sends her a notification that she's been mentioned. She can click through and read that note. Think how much time that just saved me. I don't have to chase her down. I don't have to go look for her in the community. I can simply mention her in an email or in a chat, which you're going to see in a moment. And she will be notified whether she's online, whether she's out and about. She'll get it on her phone. So there, I created my note. Now, I want to chat. You see in the top right-hand corner, there's a chat window that shows everybody who is currently online. There's Kristen. She is our sales center manager. I want to make sure she's on the lookout for Dennis tomorrow. So I'm going to @mention her just in case she's not around. She'll get that notification. And I'm telling her that I have a prospect coming in tomorrow. Will you be around to say hi? So I'm mentioning her and I'm chatting with her in real time. I hit send. I give her a second. I believe she's online. It says she's online. And she says, yes, what time? So I'm telling her around 2. We're just chatting back and forth like you would normally, but very conveniently. And then I think she's going to answer me, yep, perfect. I'll wait to meet them before I go to lunch. I said, awesome. Thank you. Have a little fun. Put a little emoji in there, smiling emoji. Send. So just like that, I have saved probably 5 minutes of chasing her down or calling her or sending her an email or wondering if she's getting it. I can literally chat with her in real time. In fact, Here's what that app mention notification looks like that Kristen and, of course, Alex got. It says, "Hi, Kristen. Mona Hilton just mentioned you an advantage. Click here to read and respond." That'll take her directly in. Now, Dennis said he was coming in tomorrow, so I want to make sure it's on my schedule and on his schedule. So I'm going to go through and create an appointment for a tour. I'll just put in my subject line that he wants a tour of our community. In the body, I'm going to just give myself some notes, introduce him to Kristen, and offer him some key lime pie. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule that out into the future, 2 o'clock. And I want to make sure that Kristen, it's on her calendar as well, as a reminder. So I just start typing her name. I pick the Kristen that I want, and I hit save. Done. Just like that. It's on Dennis's calendar. It's on my calendar for the morning. And it's also on Kristen's calendar. He also mentioned that his daughter, Allie, might stop by. And I want to record that because 6 months from now, when I forget, or if somebody else sees him, I'm not in the office or what have you, I want to make sure and document that relationship. So I'm going to click on Add Relationship. And I'm quickly going to add Dennis. He is the primary contact because I want to document who that is. And I'm going to put Allie in there real quick. I pick her from the list of leads, and I just put in her first name and her last name, and I hit save. Now, also she's with Genesis Estates. There she is. She's added as a relationship. Now, you can use relationships to link family members together like you just saw me do. Maybe they're investors or actually anyone that you want to track relationships with. And in this area, it will show you all the notes that you put under each contact within the relationship from one place. So you can manage a whole web of relationships from one area. The other thing I think I'd like to do is I'd like to send Dennis an email with a confirmation of his visit tomorrow. So I'm going to click on his email address. I'm going to pick it from a template. So instead of me writing an email confirmation from scratch every single time and wondering what to write and worrying about my grammar or my punctuation, I simply put in my subject line, "See you tomorrow, Dennis," and I go in and modify an existing template. That saves me so much time and so many errors or potential errors. I'm putting in tomorrow instead of the date. Anything that's red, of course, I want to update. And I also want to give Dennis a little carrot to get him to come in. So I will have a surprise waiting for you tomorrow, Dennis. That's the key lime pie. Just another lure. I review the rest of it, and I hit send. Done. All right. Well, that was my Monday. So I am going to fast forward and go directly to Tuesday. I come into the office on Tuesday morning. I want to first review my day and my schedule so I can see what's going on. Again, here are my prospects, my activities. There's my 2 o'clock tour with Dennis. It's on my calendar. If I click on his name, I can go directly and see his appointment as well. I can also search for him in the search bar, Dennis Manning. You see that? By clicking on the microphone, you can speak and search for people. There's my 2 o'clock with Dennis. There is my email. You see where he opened my "See you tomorrow, Dennis" visit confirmation. So I know he's seen it. I know he is planning to come in. He's received my email, and I'm ready to go. So let's fast forward. It's after 2 o'clock. Dennis has come in. We had a very successful tour. I want to make my note. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to select my note, just like you saw me do before, a new note. Now this time I want to get activity credit for doing a tour. So I'm going to pick Site Tour. That's going to give me credit for doing the tour. If he was interested in a specific model, I could track that property of interest. If a realtor came in, I could say how he heard about us. I could click on the microphone and dictate my notes, but I think I'm just going to type them this time. Dennis loved the community. He wants to bring his daughter in next week when she's in town. My next step, of course, is to follow up to get the new home sale. It's my next goal. I'm going to hit save. And you'll notice up at the top in my live activity feed, I did a tour and it showed up in there. So this gives me a live feed of all of my activity and everyone else's. Now I'm going to put them on a follow-up automation goal for a new home sale. This, folks, is awesome. This is the ability to automate your follow-up. You pick the goal and the system will literally walk you through suggested next steps, one milestone after the other. It gives you a list of suggested next steps. You pick the one you want, and after that it will suggest another one until you get them to a goal. You can see at the top, I also got credit for launching him on a goal. I see Kristen has added someone to a wait list. I'll give her a thumbs up. And Tim took a deposit. I give him a thumbs up too. So the live activity feed is a way to see what you're doing as well as your colleagues and to give recognition for a job well done by giving them a thumbs up. Also, back to that goal, this goal is the reason that you can be successful is by doing your follow-up. And one of the things about Developer's Advantage is a follow-up automation. It makes sure that you know what to do next, what the next step is in your follow-up, and no lead can fall through the cracks. So I've put Dennis on a follow-up goal. I can move on. I can work with dozens of other prospects without ever worrying about Dennis falling through the cracks because there's always a next step scheduled. When it's due for me or someone else, it'll show up, and then it queues up the next step for us. Always suggested. So I've had a very successful day. I got a lot done. And I am going to go home knowing I did a job well done. And I'm going to come in Wednesday morning. Now, Wednesday morning, I have a different idea in mind. I want to do some email marketing to announce a new model that's opening up next week. And I want to invite some people to come see it. So I'm going to go to the marketing. And under marketing, we have search and deploy marketing. I can do an email, I can print, and I can do social media posting. So right now I'm going to do an email. The model is not going to be available till next week, so I'm going to queue up that email to go out later in the week. I'm going to pick a template of a revival campaign and a subject line. I'm going to merge their name in the subject so it will increase my open rates. There's a brand new model to see. And I'm going to pick all prospects with an email address. Now I can get fancy here and I can add leads. I can pick them by zip code and area code, whatever I want. But just for the sake of demonstration, I pick prospects. There's 135 of them in my list. Now I can look through it and say, you know what? Anita, she's high drama. Let me strike through her. I don't want her to receive this email. And just like that, I can preview that email. Any place the name Pat is, that is a merge field as well as a signature. So each recipient is going to get a customized, personalized version of this email invitation. Pretty cool, huh? So it's queued up, it's ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and hit deploy and send it out. So it's queued up to go out later in the week. But once an email is gone out, I can go to email history and see jobs, how many were sent, how many were opened. I can even click on the opened and see that John opened that particular email. So there's full visibility into all of that information. But what about social media? Did you know that you could turn your social media into lead generators? It is so simple in Developer's Advantage. You go to search and deploy. You post to social media. It's as easy as writing your post, like you see me doing here. Join us for a free round of golf. And then to get people to respond back to us, we want to embed a sticky point. Register here. I'm going to pick the golf sticky point. And that allows people to talk back to us. And just from that, I can post to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or all three if I want, with a couple of clicks. Done. There's my post, and I can generate new leads. Now, anyone who clicks through on that sticky point is going to be automatically entered into my system, just like you saw Dennis early on, and it will launch follow-up for them. So later on in the day, I have a walk-in, a prospect that I've been dealing with who's ready to buy a home. So let's walk through what that process looks like. I'm going to put his name in the search, or I could speak it, and go directly to Andrew Troy. He's ready to buy a home. There's his picture. I can click on his address and see driving directions to his home for any reason I might want. There's a Zillow link, so maybe he wants to rent his existing home. I can see what the value of his home is, and that $ means that there is an active sales opportunity. There it is. I click on it. I can review it. It's a penthouse. He's waiting for a check to clear. It's open. His progress is he's arranging financing. That's a dollar amount. There's even an agreement, sales agreement generation in there. So it's already generated the agreement for me. I can click on the property that he chose and see the pictures of it. This could be outside, inside, whatever pictures you might have. And there's the agreement. Now I want to go ahead and mark it 1 because he's ready to go. It's under contract. I'm going to select the close date out into the future. And when I hit save, that sales opportunity is now marked 1. He is an owner now. And that property is now off the market. It's under contract. Just like that, I was able to do it. And when I go back and look at it, you can see it's under contract. It's 100%. It's a done deal except for closing. So that's how easy it is to create and generate your sales opportunities, and even generate your sales agreements for you all automatically. Think how much time that would save you. Well, what if a prospect doesn't come from the internet or a sticky point? What if they walk in through your sales center? Well, that's not a problem. You can add them manually by clicking add, or you can add them through an electronic replica of your guest registration form. This is just an example. You can even post this on a kiosk in your sales center, or carry it on a tablet that you carry around with you and fill it out from there. And when you do that, it'll create that contact for you in the background, start follow-up, assign them, all the magic happens. So how easy was that? In just a few minutes, I showed you 3 or 4 days worth of work. It let me communicate like a normal human being, naturally. I was able to dictate my notes. I was able to chat with my colleague. I was able to get credit for my high-value activities like making my calls, doing my tours, putting people on set it and forget it follow-up, so I can move on to the next person without ever dropping the ball. I also did an email campaign to go out later in the week. I posted a lead generation on my social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I even processed a sale. I generated a sales agreement. I marked the property sold. So, Developer's Advantage certainly makes superstars out of salespeople, but that's only half the story. Developer's Advantage also makes superstars out of management by providing full visibility into data in a way that can be easily consumed and quickly used to compare, review, and make decisions that are vital to your community's profitability, your competitiveness, and ultimately your success, which is what we're after. So in addition to visual information on your salespeople's today dashboard that shows them what their day looks like, who their prospects are, who their referral sources are, what activities they've accomplished, who their last 30 days worth of leads are, their conversion activity, and even what they need to do today is all laid out for them. But in addition to that, you can actually see a property sitemap that lets you see a listing of your properties, homes, units, and their attributes and their pictures. Or You can also see a visual sitemap that shows you a bird's eye view of who's in what home or unit. The sales dashboard shows you the vital metrics on your sales opportunities, the number of open opportunities and their value, the average deal size, and your 30-day win rate. You can also see your closed sales in the last 30 days, and even your average sales gestation, how long it's taking your team to close a sale, and a clickable link to the open opportunities of every salesperson on your team. I like to say the best part is there were no spreadsheets hurt in the making of these dashboards. There's also a reports dashboard with piles of reports. Let's quickly take a quick peek at a few sample reports. Everything you want to see is in here. This is your account executive follow-up stats. Shows you how they're doing on their follow-up by person. Anything blue is clickable, including numbers. There's an activity point chart that lets you compare activities like calls and tours and what have you. You can compare two people if you'd like. And it shows you a graphic report. The bars are clickable, so if you want to see the walk-ins, it breaks them down, and the numbers are clickable, so you can drill down into the individual contacts that make up those numbers. There's also a daily lead count report that's interesting. That'll show you by marketing how many leads you got by day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Keep in mind those numbers are clickable as well, so you can drill down into who they are. How valuable is that? There's also leads by ranking. Leads by ranking will show you your A, B, C leads, or hot, warm, cold, whatever you call them, broken down by who they are. Prospects, follow-up calls, tours given, all of that information at the click of a button, and just that quick. There's also a summary deposit report. So let's take a look at what our deposits look like in different communities. Cancellations, net deposits, status, that kind of thing. Let's see a touch report by source code. That lets us see by source code how many leads we got, how many were touched, how many tasks completed, tasks assigned, and no activities. Again, clickable, so you can drill down into the numbers that you want to see. How about an outreach conversion report by community? We're spending a lot of time courting realtors and brokers and title companies. Let's see who's converting, how many leads they're giving us, and what's happening to them. So this will show us the realtors and brokers and title companies we're working with, how many are on follow-up, calls made, visits made, and how many leads they've given us, what their conversion looks like. There's also a referral type summary. So what types of referral sources are giving us the best leads? And that'll show us the number and who they are. And again, it's clickable. If you want to see your top referral sources, names of who's referred you the best leads, there's also a report for that. Let's look at some open opportunities by sales stage. Where are they in the sales process? There you go. There's a list of the open opportunities and the sales stage. You can also see a real quick pipeline report of your open opportunities. There's all of your open opportunities, where they're at, what stage they're at. I love this next one. It's a sales conversion report. This lets us see what our conversion looks like. So I'm going to go back a date in the past and pick everyone. How many calls and presentations, and how many calls it takes to get to a presentation to get to a sale. So when I know how to plan, you can customize what reports you want to see. You can even create your own custom contact reports. If there's something specific that's unique to you that you want to see, you can create it and save it and run it again in the future. You'll also be able to schedule reports so that you can have them sent to you on a certain day of the week if you'd like. So I know I went through that very quickly, but I hope the one thing that I've been able to make clear is that we have absolutely no interest in regurgitating just another CRM. CRMs track history, but as I mentioned earlier, you can't drive forward when you're looking in the rearview mirror or when you're doing things the way you did 10 years ago. we reimagine something much more valuable than a rearview mirror. We believe that what happens now is equally important to what happened in the past. So your ability to engage in live chat now, view live feeds of everyone's activity, and recognize people for doing a job well done, mention and notify people, see what emails were opened, is very important. In addition, we believe your view into the future is critical. What are the next steps? What is the information and trends that we need to know about? What follow-up is happening so that we can move on to the next leads without ever worrying about last week's leads or what's going to happen with them, or did we follow up with those web leads that came through? Seeing your future availability, knowing your gestation periods, how long it's taking for you to turn a prospect into a buyer, and your conversion rates in your communities by your salespeople, and knowing your ROI for your marketing efforts so you can do accurate forecasting and planning and spending those precious marketing dollars valuably. We really set out to strategically address the 3 key pillars to your success. It's designed to make your salespeople, your sales teams, wildly successful. Make it so that it actually helps them. But also make management what we call omniscient, so that they know what's going on, so that they're in touch, so that the information they have is actionable. They can take action on it in confidence. But also we wanted to make sure that it's addictive, so people are using it, embracing it, and you're getting great results. This is the key to making sure that you're profitable, competitive, and you have an edge. Just think, if you could design a system that truly helped you outsmart your competition, follow up with every lead systematically, and sell more homes quicker, easier, and with less manual stress and processes, it would take an army of tools, or you could simply incorporate all those into Developer's Advantage, all in one easy-to-use, integrated system designed specifically for the unique needs of community developers and builders. Yes, it's very simple to use, but it's ingenious for getting your results. And if you like lists, here's just a partial list of all the features of Developer's Advantage. The point is, it's everything you need for new home, community, marketing, sales, and follow-up automation. All in one. Now, you might have heard the buzz about the newest plug-and-play version of Developer's Advantage. So what is that buzz all about? What's everybody talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. This new plug-and-play version is amazing because what we've done is we've taken all the best practices that we've collected, gathered, built over the last 16 years from developers and builders that are successful across the nation, and we've pre-packaged them, content and all, and baked them into a single system. So therefore, we've reduced the amount of effort, time to get going, expense to create it, customize it, get it up and running. It comes already canned with a basic setup and video training. Now, if you need to customize it, you can. You can add things on like live training, bridges, integrations, data migrations, whatever you need, but it's certainly not necessary. You can literally plug and play it if you want. So what that means to you is that you are not limited only to your own ideas. You get the best ideas of successful developers and builders across the country, and you get all the power, all the functionality that I showed you earlier, so that you don't have to start from a blank sheet of paper. It's built on best practices. And if you're thinking about writing your own CRM, you don't have to shoulder 100% of the costs. And I can tell you it's extremely expensive to build something like this. As a result, it's very quick and easy to go live. You can be live in a couple of days rather than weeks. And so it's low friction. There's nothing to rip out. There's nothing that you have to try to figure out. You can just literally plug and play it. And because we don't have a lot of time to get it up and running, we don't need a lot of time, it's extremely affordable, way more affordable than in the past. And we've added another bonus. We've included unlimited users in a community. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I can't add a user, it's going to cost me money. Don't worry about it. Everyone can have a login within a community at no additional cost. That's why we call it a no-brainer. So apparently we're onto something, because here are what a few of our clients have said, and we love to call our clients superheroes. Jay said, we've had a great buy-in from the entire team. Those that I thought would have the most resistance have been the strongest users. Advantage is truly a fantastic tool. Wow, you are phenomenal. You've developed a no-excuse approach for our sales directors, and I feel this will benefit our team tremendously. Alan said, we struggled for years to implement a tracking software system without much success. Staff has approached me after training with excitement and ease of the program. Thanks again. Now, this is a lady I stole the people person comment from. She said, I'm not a computer person, I'm a people person. Once we started training, I was instantly comfortable. I love it. We love her too. We love Liza too. She said, working with Advantage has been a true pleasure and joy, and we can already see what this program is bringing to our company. So I just want to thank you today for joining me. If you'd like to learn more about what you've heard, or if you'd like to get a private tour of Developers Advantage and get questions answered specific for you, or you simply want to connect with us, you can connect by phone, by email, by smoke signals, whatever works best for you. And as our thank you for you today, we have a free resource guide called The Secrets of Selling More Property Quicker. If you're interested in getting a free copy of that, just mention it in the chat window, and we'll make sure and send you a free copy of it. You can also go to our website. You can read some articles, blogs, or watch some past webinars on our website. There's a whole lot of resources there, and I truly encourage you to take advantage of it. So I want to wrap up today with our no-brainer commercial. I told you we affectionately call it a no-brainer. So enjoy. Have a great day.
If you could have this power for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer. If you could have this quality for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer. If you could have this luxury for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer. If you could have this service for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer. If you could have this quality for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer. If you could have this functionality for the price of this, would you? Some choices are simply a no-brainer.